Atomic Space Race is an orbital mechanics puzzle game about building courses that satisfy certain mission objectives. I'm going to quickly build a solution to this testing level. It features the major moons of Jupiter and requires you to build a course that passes by all 4 of them. The starting course here already gets pretty close to Callisto, but not close enough. I'm going to be using a known solution that I've already found, but I'll use some trial and error to show you roughly what finding a solution looks like without taking as much time as it actually would find a new one. So first off, we're going to place a new order, and that means we need to give it a heading, an acceleration, a duration, and a time in which to do all these things. What's displayed is the plot of all of the objects and where they're going to go. So the ship icon here is where we are right now, and down at the bottom there's a slider that controls what time we're looking at, so we can look through the entire duration of the test level. We want to place one when we're pretty close to Jupiter for various orbital mechanics reasons. You get a little bit more bang for your buck if you're in a place like that. So we're going to add our order at timestamp 170,000, so that's in seconds. We want to burn at heading 0, which is due north. And we're going to do it at roughly 1 gravity, or 1 g, so 10 meters a second, easier to type. And let's burn for 300 seconds. So you can see that changed our course pretty significantly. And we can switch over to displaying all motion relative to Callisto to see how close we get. We'll get pretty close. The other moons are pretty swirly at this perspective. Let's bump it down to 250 seconds. And that brings us even closer. In fact, that brings us close enough to satisfy the mission objective. So this up here changes from never to a time, and it becomes clickable, which lets us jump to when it is first satisfied. Since this is a known good solution, I'm going to refine it a little bit more here to get exactly what we need. So if we go down to 150, we're going to pass on the other side of Callisto. 200 gets us very close. 110 is what we're going to want. I believe that means we actually pass on the other side of Callisto. So we can frame the ship here, which brings us much closer. And yes, we pass on the other side here. So let's recenter on Jupiter, make everything relative to Jupiter, and frame Callisto. So now we're back roughly to where we started. Now that we've met Callisto, we need to correct our course, because right now we are past escape velocity. We whiz on past and we never come back. So we're going to need to brake some. To do that, we're going to burn at heading 225, or 255 rather. Still the same acceleration. Duration is going to be that. And that's our timestamp. So that is happening right about the same time as our Callisto encounter. And puts the brakes on our trajectory, gets us back going in close. So with that, we are kind of lucky. We already have a Europa and Io encounter here. This course just swings us through the inner Jovian system. We meet Io, and we meet Europa. So we're going to probably want our next burn to go after those encounters. Since we've already got them more or less in the bag, we don't need to mess with them. Our next burn is going to be at 180, so due south. It's a fairly short burn, but we're doing it right next to Jupiter. So like I said before, we get a little bit more oomph there. And that means we're back to escape velocity, I think. Yeah, that's... kicks us right out of the Jovian system entirely into deep space. So let's get back to more useful reference frame here. You can see there's some visual weirdness that is going to have to be cleaned up as things develop. This is a pretty early version of the game. Everything you're seeing is subject to dramatic revision. And there's a few things that are a little messy right now. You can also see the jaggedness of this line that needs to be cleaned up. So now that we've got our burn that's kicking us out of the system, we need another one that's going to keep us from leaving. We need to put the brakes on again. So I'm going to just enter in the timestamp and the heading here so you can see where we're going to be burning here. I think I put that in wrong. Yeah, 330, not 90. Alright. It's not going to know what 330 is until we have some acceleration. But you can see where it is. So it's shortly after our big burn here. Let's do our 10. And we'll make this 600 seconds. So now that we've got that, let's look at our last approach that we need to make, which is Ganymede. So we click on reference to Ganymede, and you can see that we're fairly close, but we're not there yet. We bring this up to 610. We get a little bit closer. 620, even closer. And then we take it up to 630. And we have two pretty close approaches, and the first one here gets us our victory. So that's a working solution here. Let's look at it from reference to Jupiter again. You scroll on through, you can see the whole motion. And then we've got a stable orbit around Jupiter till the end of the level. You can also look at that from a number of different frames of reference from every object in the system and see how everything moves relative to everything else. You can look at how everything moves relative to the ship, which isn't super useful, but can be pretty fun. And that's the current state of Atomic Space Race. Thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in following development further, check out the dev blog at atomicspaceplace.com, which is currently updating monthly. Thank you.